Hey guys, Russian Nihilist here. I'd like to talk to you guys about evolution and about the very common misconception and oversimplification of that we came from monkeys. Now, granted, the primate is one of our, is pretty much our closest ancestor. So I can see where they came from, but we didn't come directly from monkeys. There are forms in between, of course. You know, I don't understand how some people don't see how true evolution is. It's basically been proven, it's been accepted into the scientific community as a fact. People, some scientists still think it's a theory. Not some scientists, some people still think it's a theory, just a theory. And no, it has been accepted into the scientific community as a fact. So, basically I'm going to try to explain it to you. Okay, so, basically, here's how it is. If you have children, you probably don't, because a lot of my viewers are around my age, but if you have children, look at them. They might look like your spouse. They might look a little bit like your spouse. They might have some of their traits, and then they might have some of your traits. But you can see that not every part of them has either yours or your spouse's. And those aren't all the traits. There are very minor mutations. Or not mutations, it just changes that occur from generation to generation. And this is just to adapt with the environment because, of course, they're born into a different environment than you are. And you can't really see a huge change over one generation. I would completely agree with you. Now, in a couple hundred generations, like maybe 500 generations in over, you're going to start to see a huge change between 500 years ago and the time now. So, not 500 years, sorry, 500 generations, and let's just estimate generations about 30 years. So you're going to see big changes in 1,500 years. You are going to see significant changes. Ears might be bigger, skin might be thicker, hair might be shorter to everyone that doesn't grow that much. It just goes along with how the environment changes and how the human body adapts to things. So I just don't see how a lot of people can't find this as a fact. I mean, it's so, I mean, and a lot of people might ask, where did the first things come from? And that is not a very difficult question. It's called, let's not get to that yet. But evolution isn't just people to monkeys, as I stated before. It's something a lot more complicated and a lot more into it. And Darwin was a brilliant man. He was generations ahead of his time, decades ahead, because he didn't have all the advances that we did now. He couldn't test DNA and look at our genome. He couldn't do that. He was a brilliant man that is now accepted into the scientific community as a fact. That's completely brilliant. This man was a genius. Okay, now I would like to get into abiogenisis and how that all began. Well, after when discussing evolution, a lot of people say, well, where did those first single-celled organisms come from? And I wouldn't blame them for asking that. It's called abiogenesis. And abiogenesis is life coming from non-life. And it is completely possible. You can view it in everyday life. I saw the one video on YouTube about if you take, and it's supposed to prove that abiogenisis is impossible, but it completely proves it. Basically, this is how it goes. This guy takes a jar of peanut butter, opens it up, and leaves it out for a couple days, and says that if abiogenesis is true, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, life would come out of that non-life. And he said that life didn't grow. You know, no animals came out. He said that, well, actually, he showed that there was mold. What the fuck do you think mold is? Mold is life. It's in the producer section in the food web. It's the thing that gets the energy first. And it's life. It grows, that's life. I mean, it goes in there with plants and algae and stuff. And that's abiogenesis. It's exposed to other chemicals and it creates life. That's how it goes. It's completely possible. And a lot of people do not understand this, or they don't know what abiogenesis is, and I don't blame them. It's one of those little bit more complicated things, but I don't think it's that complicated. And basically, yeah. That's it. I don't understand why these fucking creationists do not understand this very simple concept, this concept that makes sense, this evolutionary fact, not theory anymore, fact, okay? It sounds so simple the way they put it, monkey to man. It's so simple, but yet it doesn't make sense and it's impossible that we came from monkeys. And I agree, we didn't come from monkeys. Primates are, as I explained before, primates are our ancestors. But there are forms in between. And if you're thinking, the only way to prove evolution is that there are transitional forms in the fossil record. There are transitional forms. There are. I don't know why people don't just research this stuff. There are definitely transitional forms in the fossil record. So yeah, distortion atheist, if you disagree with me, that's okay. But, fuck you. Peace out, bitches.